South East Radio's morning mix.
I'm joined by the CEO of the Sam McCauleys pharmacy chain, Tony McEntee. A very good morning to you, Tony.
Morning, Alan. Good to talk to you.
And if you'd like to air your views, 053 914 5222 or text us on 087 3737 956. We would have known it as Sam McCauleys, Tony, but there's a name change by all accounts. It's now going to be known as McCauley.
Yeah, we're doing a lot of work since we took over. I joined back in August 2017. A lot of work looking at the brand and how we move the Sam McCauleys group from being in a really strong regional player in the southeast and south into a national player, and a brand that evolves from the McCauley or from the Sam McCauleys name, but makes it easier to work with and represents probably a more modern view of pharmacy, in that it's more all-encompassing of a healthy you today.
Right, so all in all then, the situation with Sam McCauleys, whom I would know very well and would have spoken to on numerous occasions, both in pharmacy and in sporting context as well, has he still got an involvement in the company?
Yes, Sam is still a shareholder and a non-exec director, and there's a new management team headed up by myself, which report to the board.
So in general then, staff-wise in this county, how many people are you employing?
In the stores we currently employ 132, and in the support office around 40.
And nationally then, what are you?
Nationally it's about 670, probably up to 700 around Christmas, and then with casual staff for the requirement for the business rush, hopefully.
Right, so have you seen growth since you took over?
Yeah, we've achieved an awful lot since we took over. We've moved from, there were 30 stores when we joined last year. We're now up to 35 trading as of today, but next Monday we open 2 new stores. We open a second store in Enniscorthy on Rafter Street, and we open a brand new store in Charlemont Street in Dublin as part of a public-private partnership renewal programme, where it will have all of our new brand developments and some very interesting, exciting new concepts in pharmacy.
So in amongst all these positives, and they are many, and we'll come back to those at the end of its chat with you, we heard news that you've recently made a decision to relocate your head office from Wexford to Dublin. It's going to impact over 30 people here in Wexford. I believe you'd planned to break this news in 2 weeks' time, but there's a media leak, is that correct? And is that why you're here with me this morning?
We had a conversation with our team advising them that we try to keep them as best informed as we can. We had a conversation saying that there were some changes, and we would finalise it after our board meeting on Wednesday. Unfortunately, there was a media leak. Someone picked up on something somewhere, so we decided rather than have various interpretations of it, we might as well up front and deal with it. And I spoke to all my colleagues in work as well.
Okay, I mean, it's in contrast to what you told my colleague Carl Fitzpatrick in September 2017. I have the clip now and I'm going to play it for you. This is what you said to him in a detailed interview.
From a Wexford perspective, the platform of the business is driven out of the headquarters out there in Ardcavan, and it just means that we're going to have a very significant Irish retailer based in Wexford town, and that headquarters is the platform for the business right into the future.
And can you confirm that the HQ will always remain in County Wexford?
Actually, I can't confirm everything forever, but it's certainly, I'm in it for the next 5 to 10 years, and I expect to see it driving up and down from Meath to Wexford for that period of time.
So Tony, listening to that, and I'm just thinking of all the positives we talked about at the start, people are going to be a little bit frustrated and upset about this news this morning, because they've always seen McCauleys as very much a Wexford company based here in Wexford, and now you're telling us that the head office is moving out of Wexford. Why the change? Well, what has changed since you last spoke to Carol?
I suppose they're frustrated. I'm frustrated. That was said with very much a genuine expression of our intention. We invested further in developing the offices up there for the long haul and made the office space bigger to recruit extra people. But we're trying to compete, move from being a regional player to being a national player, and we need to recruit the best people, very much in the buying and on the marketing and on the internet marketing. I don't know if you heard the statistics at the weekend. Sales growth in the US, 23% up on online, but 7% down on bricks and mortar. So we need to be recruiting people on the buying front, from the Pennies, the Primarks, the Dunnes Stores, the Tesco's, and from international basis. And despite my willingness to move to Wexford, and happily and enjoyed every bit of it and develop some great friendships down here, we are struggling to get people that we need from the sales and marketing side to buy the story or buy the belief that it's a wonderful place to work, which I have enjoyed tremendously down here.
Are you telling me then to get the new people into the key roles in McCauleys, they won't travel to Wexford?
Yeah, we're looking for...
Is that in a nutshell?
We're looking for the best people to do our buying, to do our marketing, to do our online marketing. We're not looking for necessarily the best people who want to work in Wexford. We're looking for the best people. A lot of these are Dublin-centric, and some of the people we're trying to talk to who work in London are prepared to come and work in Dublin, but they're not prepared to come and work and spend the reverse commute, effectively. Everyone here, a lot of people here in Wexford are familiar with the commute. I do it most days. I stay here some nights, but I'm looking, it was 160 kilometres down this morning. It's an hour and 45 minutes. It's obviously the reverse for other people, depending on where they are in the Wexford locality.
You follow the trends, I follow the trends. Like last week I spoke to Austin Hughes from KBC Bank, and we looked at the whole area of employment, and something like 32,400 jobs are going to Dublin. 600 came to the southeast. Do you not think that Wexford as a county deserves more respect from the McCauley Group when it comes to this, to take these jobs out of Wexford at a time when there's an intrinsic link between Wexford and McCauley's is a very negative thing to do?
Well, I think the best thing, I don't see it as negative. I see it as positive for the 700 colleagues that I have, that we have the best support office with the best team possible. And ideally we would have stayed here. That's what was the intention. But we are finding it to recruit our new trading director, who's ex-head of buying in Heaton's and whatever. They're not prepared to spend the time driving down. And that's just the reality of the scenario. And it's not what I would have anticipated, but that's what the situation we find ourselves in.
Did you look at all areas? Did you engage, say, with the likes of Wexford County Council, Tom Enright and these people? Did you go to them and say, this is what we're thinking of doing? Can you come up with an alternative to stop us doing it?
No. We have an immediate requirement now. We have an immediate requirement to recruit the people we need. When I came here, we had our commercial director, who was, despite what people think, wasn't local, was based in Tralee, and he was prepared to come to Tralee, to the Wexford Support Office one day a week. We had a chief pharmacist who was based in south of Cork, who was here one day a week. We need a management team that's in the business, in the office, working together as a collective, driving the business forward. And if we can't secure them to work here, and that's with the previous management team, never mind the new management team, we will get them to where we have to.
How many of these people are new coming into the company? How many of you are newly recruited? Is it 4, 5, 6, 7, what?
Probably 6, I think, at this point.
So you're moving 30 to 40 people out of Wexford to, I'm not saying placate, I'm not putting words in your mouth, Tony, but to facilitate 5 or 6 new employees, there's 30 people moving out of Wexford.
No, the people are entitled. We want everyone to move with us. So we're not looking at losing jobs, we're looking at where they're based.
Right.
And we're basically looking at what the skill sets are required to drive a business from being a regional player, which Sam McCauleys is an extraordinary regional player, into a national player between 70 and 100 stores. And we're competing with some of the world's best, like Boots Walgreen, which have 15,000 stores. So we need to be able to recruit them, and particularly on the marketing, where we're going to be recruiting from the likes of the LinkedIns and the Googles and the Facebooks. And that's what we're looking to achieve.
Did you engage with Wexford Chamber of Commerce? Did you engage with the employment situation here in Wexford, see if there were people coming? Can you hand on heart say to me this morning that you engaged with all the bodies I've mentioned there to give them a chance to respond?
But I've already answered you. I said no. I said what we've engaged with is recruiting the team, the senior management team that are required to drive this business forward. And we speak to all the agencies that we normally work with to drive it forward. We don't wake up in the morning saying, is this best for Wexford or best for whatever? It's best for Sam McCauley Group. Sam McCauley Group remain extraordinarily committed to Wexford. We have, as I said, we have the stores we have. We're opening one in Enniscorthy. We're doubling the size of the one in New Ross. There's another one to be opened in Wexford Town. We're also the sponsors of Starlight's Rapparees, and we're extending that. Sam made an extraordinary contribution of 50,000 to Enniscorthy GA last year. We're also, just announced about a month ago, the introduction of the Sam McCauley Scholarship Programme.
Has he supported this decision, Tony?
I don't think it's helpful to try and personalise the matter. The reality of it is the management team put a proposition at how they can best develop the support structures to achieve our corporate objectives of growing to being a national player, and the board agreed with that, and Sam was on the board.
And as I said to you off air, personalising things are not what I'm about, but I think it was a genuine question. If somebody still owns 30% of the company, to put the question to you, you at this point in time would prefer not to answer that question.
No. What I'm saying is that the company as a board makes a decision. We don't go to boards with decisions that need voting on. We work with the board, we explain our strategy, the board help and guide us with the strategy, and they make a decision and they run with the management team.
Will this have a major impact on the likes of suppliers, especially coming up to Christmas? I mean, there are fears. Like, I have a question here. I'm sure you considered the effect that this decision would have on our local community. You must have considered all options before taking this action. So what exactly did you do to avoid this drastic action?
Well, I don't think it has any impact on suppliers. I'm not seeing how it could have. In fact, we've recently signed up a deal with Innovate on our entire IT support infrastructure. We have a lot of all our printers around the country are handled by the crowd out in DataPack, handle all that. So we're very much committed to our suppliers, but our principal supplier base is not Wexford. Our principal supplier base are either the major drug wholesalers or the major multinational brands who generally are based in Dublin, and no supplier loses out because of this.
Is there any chance, I'm just going to put it out there, is there any chance you could have a rethink on this? Or is this set in stone? Because here's a company that has its basis here in Wexford in 1953. We're very proud of this company here in Wexford, and you are taking the head office out of Wexford. Do you not think it's possible to have a rethink? And I'm just sitting here as a radio presenter listening to everything you're telling me. I know the positives that the company are bringing, and I'm going to let you come back to outline that again, because I think it's only fair to give you a chance to say that. But to me, it seems you're moving 30 to 40 people to placate 6.
I think it's a complete misunderstanding of how business operates. We're not doing anything to placate anyone. I've been driving up and down the road here. As I said to you, I have 60,000 kilometres in a car in 10 months. I have no problem doing that. I've enjoyed doing it, and I've enjoyed everything and the engagement with the team out there. And hopefully as many as possible will move with us. But we didn't make this decision willy-nilly. We're not making it on the basis of whether it's popular or not popular. We're doing it on what's required to have the resources to compete in a very competitive landscape.
And can I stop you there for a second, Tony? I have to repeat a question I put to you. Why are you making this decision? There's people just tuning in immediately. So for those tuning in, basically in a nutshell, you're moving your head office out of Wexford to a new area. Where in Dublin?
City West.
City West in Dublin. So you're moving to City West in Dublin. When are you moving?
The end of March.
Okay. Will there be unemployment as a result of this? Are you giving people the opportunity to travel with you?
We absolutely are giving people the opportunity. We want everybody to travel with us, and we will have that full engagement with the people over the next coming months.
And what if they cannot do it? What if it just is not feasible financially for them to relocate?
Yeah, I envisage that will be the case in some instances, and we will have a conversation. This is not a conversation I'm prepared to have with you, Alan.
Of course,
it's a conversation I'm going to have with my colleagues. The reason I'm here with you this morning is because the league came out early, and we had started a conversation. But I felt it was better. Look at front up and deal with this issue.
Yeah.
But we will be a responsible employer. Since I've joined the company, we've done an awful lot of things with our colleagues, but we're the first pharmacy group in Ireland to introduce maternity pay. That may surprise you, but that's the reality. We've introduced death in service for our colleagues. We've just introduced a health and wellness programme for every single one member of our colleagues. So we're a very responsible employer, and we won't let our colleagues in Ardcavan down.
Can I just reflect on the comments coming into you, Tony? So McCauleys haven't got the right people to run the company in Wexford, so they want all their employees to travel to Dublin. That's a comment in from a listener who sent in their text and name. So, I mean, that's a direct comment. What do you say to them this morning?
We are looking to build a team to make it a national player. We have to grow the business. We have tried to recruit. We have found it difficult to recruit the particular skill sets. It's nothing to do with negativities about Wexford. It's about people not prepared to do the reverse commute.
I have two final questions to put to you. You've answered the one about you will discuss it individually with the members of your staff as to whether they will relocate or not. The message that this relocation is sending out to companies that may currently be considering locating in County Wexford, you're moving out your head office, we're trying to get people to come in. I mean, what sort of a message are you sending out this morning?
But again, Alan, I'm not sending out a message to anybody. If I I am sending out, all I'm doing is explaining a scenario where this is what works for the McCauley Group, who have ambitions to grow to between 70 and 100 stores. I'm not waking up in the morning. I'm not a politician. I'm not doing anything other than doing what's right for the business and for our 600 or 700 colleagues.
Do you think it'll have an impact on the loyalty that the people of Wexford have towards you?
I hope not. That's why I'm prepared to come out front and deal with it. Everything we do, we're a highly innovative company. We're very committed in the communities we're in. We've expanded the range of services from home delivery to our recent launch of a WhatsApp or an app on for people being able to order from home. We're a very committed company. We remain committed. As I mentioned here, we're opening a new store in Enniscorthy. I'm repeating myself now, but we're also
and there's no harm to repeat yourself because people tune in or dipping in and dipping out.
We're relocating in New Ross. There is a bit of a blot on our copybook in that we don't have a store in Gorey, which is a major town in Wexford, but I expect that will be rectified sooner rather than later.
My final question, if there is, as we're getting here, a bit of a kickback on this already, will you rethink? Or is it just, and I'm repeating myself now, is that it?
I have family members who are involved in politics and have to deal with issues in that fashion.
Yes.
I'm not involved in politics, thank God. We're involved in business. We've made a very considered decision after 16 months involved in the business. We are working very hard to drive and create Sam McCauleys into being a national player with between 70 and 100 stores. We have to have the skill sets necessary. So, no, we won't be reconsidering.
Thank you for joining me in studio. Tony McEntee, the CEO of McCauleys as it is now. Feedback on this is more than welcome. 053 914 5222. Is there anything else you want to add, Tony?
No. Look, you've got a fair hearing. I've explained to you the scenario we're facing, and, we regret this. I came down here with absolute intention. You replayed it, the piece with myself and Carl Fitzpatrick last year. It's when this did leak. That's the very good reason why I came back to Carl, because what I said, I very much remember what I said, and I was very...
Do you regret saying that to Carl?
Not a bit. I very genuinely said what I believed to be at the time, but I have to deal with the circumstances in which I now find myself.
We'll leave it there for the moment.
Southeast Radio's Morning Mix.